श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Radha Krishna Bhogavna Sam Kund Radha Kund Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Guru Dwarka Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to that. All glories to that. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everybody. You are welcome for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, but today we are going to speak on devotee care. So can you hear me? Sahadev, are you there? Salika? Maribo?
We can hear you, Prabhu.
Who is there, Salika or Sahadev? So put on your cameras, let me see your lotus face, Rasa Vilas, thank you. So today we are going to speak on Prabhupada Devotee Care Department. Since there's the need for devotees to really take care of one another, it's necessary that we talk about devotee care some once in a while. So today I will try to speculate my personal realization. Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Kapchandra Swami Tinamini. Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamini. Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nive Shesha Suya Padi Paskatari Sacharine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Yadu Jagradara Sipsari Gaura Bhakta Vrindra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are speaking on devotee care. What is devotee care? Caring Krishna and his caring devotees. Devotee care is a means whereby devotees, the Vaishnava community, look after one another. So in ISKCON in 2011, the GBC formed this devotee care department when there was the need, serious need. The scripture says when the need is greatest, God's help is nearest to it. So the GBC formed the devotee care to look after devotees' welfare. How they describe it, they said that the devotee care department or education is an initiative of the ISKCON GBC. Devotee Care Committee aim at systematically disseminating knowledge about devotee care through both online and offline. And since 2011, they have released up to 40 newspapers or newsletters. So that is why this issue of devotee care is highly important, that every devotee take part in this issue. So today we are speaking on devotee care. As an eternal part of Krishna, we naturally possess, we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam in the scripture that Krishna have so many qualities. And part of the qualities of Krishna is caring. And since we are part and parcel of Krishna, is also have, who is speaking? Somebody say something?
It's Govinda. It's all right. It's
Okay.
now.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So since we are part and parcel of Krishna, we always say that we possess also some of the minute qualities of Krishna. So since Krishna cares, devotees also care about one another. So when Krishna is the seed-giving father of all living entities, the human being, the man, is also the seed-giving father of his children. So since Krishna also maintains the devotees, the man also maintains his family. In the same vein, the devotees also maintain one another in Krishna consciousness. So that is why today we are going to speak on devotee care. We see how everybody is getting old, everybody is getting sick, everybody is in need of material need, like Kali Yuga is growing forcefully every day. And anybody who say he or she is not feeling the effect of Kali Yuga or material need, the person is living in the darkest region of illusion. So that is why today we see the need to speak on devotee care. So forgive us for not speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam for today. So devotee care, what does it really mean? We normally talk about spiritual care. Philosophically, we care about each other. Philosophically, spiritually. But we in West Africa, for example, kind of devotee care we want to institute is basically on material and physical need of the Vaishnava and Vaishnavis. Philosophically, we are endowed, we are scholars. But on this devotee care, we want to take it more seriously. So in our relationship, for example, we usually get back what we give out in life. So when we express our concern for others, it's natural that they also express concern back to us. When we are attentive to them, they reciprocate. Similarly, it's just normal. This exchange are due to love. And what is love? But to want what is best for the other, to care about the other's well-being, not when he or she asks for it, but you give it out even before they requested it. So devotee care encompasses helping devotees who are in need, and in as much as possible, care is part of devotees' lifestyle. For devotees are aware of the spiritual identity and value of every living entities. That's our philosophy. Everybody knows this. As well as the goal of selfless love. They and each living entities are meant to achieve. This is why we can create or attain a realization or create a multifaceted means of helping one another. Like Krishna said, unparalleled ingenuity of Krishna. You see the nature, you see the flowers, you see different varieties of flowers, of birds, of animals. The same way also, devotees have their personal ingenuity, what they are good at doing. A devotee can initiate a static insight of what is harmony between himself, another person, his own. In this way, we can have diversity, unity within differences of devotees. So if I'm good in singing, if devotee is a singer in kirtan leading, but not everybody is good in cooking. So those who are good in cooking, they specialize in that cooking. We also help them to make good use of that cooking to become somebody through that cooking. So because devotees care about other devotees, they respect their personalities. Because we're not the same person. We have different qualities. And therefore, gentle and polite, they can interact and talking to one another. Here doesn't just mean when I'm senior devotee or I'm a junior devotee, I render service. Beyond that person rendering that service, there is a need behind that smile you see, behind the tears you see, behind how they look when they are sad. There is a need, a word they cannot express through their word, but we can read facially or body language and understand what is the need of this devotee. So caring about one another invokes that devotee's acceptance, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, friendliness that can easily resolve any kind of misunderstandings or problems that devotees may have. Care expressed by both persons can resolve relationship problems, even in marriages, even in the communities, with freshness, with vigor, because what? Each person grasps the other's feeling and opinions. And based on merit and mutual gain, find mutually agreeable resolution to any kind of disagreements. Without devotee care, that is why devotees always disagree, because nobody is attending to each anybody's need. We say we are spiritually, yes. Sometimes we are more spiritual, forget that we are living in the material world. So we see that conflict arises because I don't feel cared for, you don't feel cared for, she or he don't feel cared for. So nobody wants to do anything. Or any little thing that we can easily overlook, we fight over it. So care allows us to be happy, even if we don't solve all our problems in the community. Care is vulnerable to pain. You feel pain, somebody care for you, it relieves you the pain, and yet it continues. Care lessens the expectation to have others, enlarges what we expect from ourselves, and not just whatever is still between our hearts, like desires. That care calms it down, not to come out and start revolting, small thing, oh, I can't do this, but I can't do this, why can't you do it? So because of care, our companionship, the quality of our compassion and satisfaction in Krishna consciousness benefits everybody, because everybody feels cared for. An uncaring person criticizes the faults within the person. Like if I don't care for you, anything you say about me, you criticize me. If you don't care about me, if I don't care about you, any small thing I say about you, I will criticize it, because I don't care how you feel. So a caring one speaks to the person behind the fault. I don't see the fault more in you because I care about you. I don't criticize you, but I speak to you about what you do that is not good. Instead of criticizing you, I'm talking about you with somebody else. So an attitude of deeply caring about one another, if you can adopt it, is an attitude that originates in the Atma. Krishna is in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma. So that attitude of care comes from the Atma, from the heart, allows me to laugh and becomes detached from all whimsical mind and any kind of jokes. You just laugh over everything because you really care. People really care about you. You feel welcome. You feel you're in a family. Actually, temple life or devotional service is supposed to be like a family where there is love and care. Without that, nobody laugh. Nobody wants to do any service. So what we are talking about today is about this. If you can be able to imbibe all these things, it will help devotees to live harmoniously in devotional service. A devotee care for one another is not an ordinary care, but it offers the supreme benediction, like Prabhupada said in one lecture. Prabhupada was mentioning in Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you look if you can see Srimad Bhagavatam 242? Can you hear me, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 2, chapter 4, text 2, where Prabhupada was talking about the living entities under a devotee's care get opportunity for God realization. Yes. When a devotee cares about a devotee, the living entities, they have opportunity for God realization. How is that? Maharaj Parikshit, a result of his wholehearted attraction for Krishna, was able to give up all deep-rooted affection for his personal body, his wife, children, his palace, animals, horses, elephant, treasury horse, his friends, relative, and paper. Gold and place in papers. Easy. Yeah, go on a bit. Because Prabhupada was talking about if a living entity has stop, yes, I see it. Thereby living, can you? Yes, thereby living entities under a devotee's care get opportunity for God realization by the management of a devotee master. Yes, thank you. So when you care for a devotee, we talk about a devotee realizing Krishna, get opportunity for God realization under the management of a devotee care. Without devotee care, how can a devotee realize Krishna? When there is stress, there's confusion, there is no love, how can I realize Krishna? I don't have peace of mind, I'm in distress. So we see the importance of devotee care, it gives the devotee the good quality to attain Krishna consciousness, to become a devotee. So without that, it's like we wonder, you have been a devotee for 20, 30 years, yet you're a neophyte devotee. Because the devotee is in stress. It's not even peaceful. He has some needs that are not met. How can he relate Krishna? He's there by what I'm proud in purport. Different is living under devotee care. They attain God realization. If we don't give devotee care, nobody is going to attain Krishna consciousness or God realization. That's what Prabhupada is talking about. So that means devotee care is paramount in our practice. Why is this? Because Krishna cares for and reciprocates with those who do likewise. So if Krishna cares for us and we want to attain Krishna consciousness, we must also care for other devotees that they can be peaceful to attain Krishna consciousness also, or God consciousness. So that is called special care from Krishna. To care is an expression of our free will, yes. It radiates, yes, from Atma, from the heart, and then want to expand to encompass each Atma that we come in contact with. Like if you go, like in Europe here, for example, if you walk on the streets, somebody you don't know is coming in front of you, he or she will smile, you smile back. Or you smile, he or she smile back. They don't know each other. Because sometimes when there is people don't know strangers, the only way they can weaken you, if you're an enemy, for example, want to attack them, they smile. That smile of love or friendliness, you smile back. If you have any bad intention, you leave it. So when we give devotee care to each other, they also give the same devotee care to another devotee. Genuine care for each other is a gift of the great Atmas, the Mahatma, the pure devotees. Genuine care, not fake care. It's a powerful victory over the force of illusion that pervades the devotees. So devotee care, we're going to really work on in West Africa, for example. We're going to institutionalize a structure that any devotee that have difficulties, not just when you have difficulties, any devotee that is going through hardship or have some skills that need to get a job or want to learn a job, a trade or whatever, the kind of devotee care we want to institutionalize is to engage that person. If the person speak out what he or she can learn, can do, try to help you, not about philosophically, but materially. And then when you get old also, people are getting old and dying, you have family left behind, we also want to get engaged, get involved to assist the family, to see that the devotees' children are not going to feel frustrated, that their father or their mother don't have a skill or they didn't left anything behind for them. For such situation, we make the children growing up to live Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada said, it is better to maintain a devotee than to make a devotee. The one you have, you maintain them already, than looking for new ones to start afresh, to teach them what you have been teaching for 20 to 40 years. So the only way to maintain devotee is through devotee care. Care for them, no matter how little it is. Care also can mean counseling. So many people are going through stress, confusion. They can't speak. Devotee care can also mean approaching the devotee, asking him or her, what are you doing? How is your life? How is your material life? How is your social life? Who are your friends who are not devotees? They can open up, then you find out that many people are really suffering. because we disregard a bit of devotee care for some time. So that's what we'll talk about today. This class is going to be interactive. If you have any opinion or any idea or what you would like us to inculcate in the Department of Devotee Care and Fundraising, you are welcome to bring it up so that we can digest it and see how to implement it. Because right now, I have some friends, some devotees, we want to take this devotee care very seriously, not under the management of temples. Because temples, I don't have time for too much discussion. So we see how to do it under ISKCON, but not under management of anybody living in temple. So they can concentrate on deity worship, on preaching. But for devotee care, we have to find another means to make it work for anybody in the region. Hare Krishna, if anybody have question, please ask me. If you have idea, please bring it up. Let's discuss.
Well, Hare Krishna, Shri Kusha Prabhu, thank you for discussing this all-important topic. We all know that as living entities, we are made of love because we require love and we also give love. Whether we like it or not, it's part of our life. So it's very important we discuss this and see how best we can, in a very healthy way, implement it. So my concern is that sometimes we read the scriptures and what we see or find in the scriptures, we are unable to go deeper into what is being said in the scriptures. And we just rest at what we just read there. For example, yesterday, we had a speaker who spoke very beautifully, of course, on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was one statement the speaker made, which I did not have time to ask him to expand on it. Definitely, I believe that he had a deeper reason to what he said, but because he did not expatiate on it, some people may hear him and may take it in a wrong way. And what did he say? He said that we have to follow acharyas. We have to repeat what acharyas have said, which is the basic fact. We repeat. Srila Prabhupada says he's successful because he simply repeated what his guru said. But we also see that it is not everything Srila Prabhupada said that was verbatim, like word for word, what his spiritual master said. He is also an individual. He has his mind, he has his intelligence. So he explained what he had heard from his guru in his own language, in his own words. So this devotee was saying that all the previous acharyas have told us that we do not have to depend on anyone except Krishna. And today, we hear some devotees preach saying that devotees have to have insurance. There is no insurance anywhere other than Krishna. And that's why I'm saying I could not have the time to ask him to expand on it, because some devotees say that you do not need anyone's help. All you need is Krishna's help, which one sense is true. But Krishna also helps us through another individual. only in rare cases that Krishna directly helps individual without getting through anybody. But generally, Krishna helps us through other people. And that is why it's very important that we take very good care of each other, of devotees. So if anybody would like to throw more light on what this devotee was saying, that you do not need any insurance. For example, I am sitting here, I need health insurance. If I don't have health insurance and I fall sick,
Okay, I get that.
how do I get cared for?
I joined yesterday in his class when he mentioned my guru, say they should give him a van for Sankirtan. I hear that aspect. And I said, why am I not seeing you on camera? But nobody was seeing me. So I was at work, I signed out. What he was speaking philosophically is true, but practically it's not true. It's not true in the sense that I will use his personal example he was saying yesterday about Sankirtan van. If we don't need anybody, why does he need a Sankirtan van before you go on Sankirtan? If we don't need to take care of the devotees or do anything, depend on anything, any external force or means, why do you need a van to preach? We have all lived in temple, we don't have a van, we were preaching. Why do we need a van? Guru say we should raise money to buy you a van to go on Sankirtan. Why do you need to give condition before you preach? You need a van. Are you not depending on the mercy of the van to preach? This is the practical. This has nothing to do with philosophy. The fact that you need a van to go on Sankirtan is also the same thing. You need a doctor to be healthy, to practice this Krishna consciousness. You need food to eat, to be healthy, to chant Hare Krishna. Ordinary 2 times a month fasting, we are weak. Fasting one day, you are weak. You need food to be strong, to chant your rounds. So we all depend on something. So taking care of devotees, for example, apart from the spiritual philosophy, which is the essence of Krishna consciousness, the material need and want is also vital in the life of every devotee. So I think what our philosophy should be preaching now about is, if you want to be a devotee, what is your skills? What can you do for a living? What can you do to sustain your life apart from devotional service? Then we can help the person to get a job or empower the person to start whatever skill he or she has, so that it doesn't mean that you're only chanting Hare Krishna and when you are sick, you can't be able to treat yourself. You can't be able to go to hospital. You can't even be able to go to win the Ratayatra in Ghana or Ivory Coast. You can't even pay your transport fare to another country. You need to earn a living later, no matter how it is. So we depend on this. That kind of thing we're talking about devotee care. Many people are confused, don't know what to do in devotional service apart from chanting Hare Krishna. But so many people also have some good skills that, if encouraged, they can really be more productive than how they are already. So the devotee speaking like that, philosophically is good, true, but physically, practically is not obtainable. Because we're not in Goloka Vrindavan, we are in the material world where we need material objects, material things for our existence. Prabhupada was asked, why are you using Rolls Royce? He said, of course, if you give me Rolls Royce, I will use it. He never rejected anything. He used everything in Krishna consciousness. What the problem is using material energy for sense gratification and not dovetailing it into Krishna service. That is where the problem comes. That's when someone becomes a materialist instead of being a devotee. Thank you for bringing that up. Bravo, thank you so much for that question or comment, for bringing it up. Prabhupada mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Can you check Chaitanya Charitamrita? If you can find, let me see if I can find it. Oh God, I lose it.
Okay.
Adi Lila chapter 2. Adi Lila, open Adi Lila chapter, just hold on. Let me think. Yeah, chapter 2, text 91 to 92, where Krishna or Prabhupada lists qualities of devotional service. Text 91 and 92. Yeah, just leave the translation. He said here in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10 subjects are described. The creation of ingredient of the cosmos, the creation of Brahma, maintenance of the creation, special favor given to the faithful. There is condition attached to devotee care. Special favor given, number 4, given to the faithful. Impetuses for activity. Prescribed duties for law-abiding men. Description of the incarnation of the Lord, the widening up of creation, liberation from gross subtle material existence, and number 10, the ultimate shelter, that is God himself, representative of Godhead. But what, just go down a bit, keep going down, 7 and 8 in the purport. Wait, up is 4, 5. You see where it's mentioned here, Ushana, special care and protection for devotees by the Lord. As king maintains his kingdom and subjects, but nevertheless gives special attention to the members of his family. So the personality of Godhead gives special care to his devotees who are so completely surrendered to him. Go up a bit, please, 6 or 7. You see, the king maintains the same way, okay, stop, Pushana. The same way Krishna gives special care to his devotees, not every living entities, but only devotees who are surrendered to him. In the same way, can somebody now come and say, Krishna is our maintainer of everybody, we don't have to depend on anybody else. Krishna still knows that devotees who are surrendered unto him still depend on him. So he said here, he gives them special care. He didn't give them this kind of care he gives to ordinary kamis who are not devotees. Because he knows that kamis depend on material energy, but his devotee depend only on him to provide. And how does Krishna provide for a devotee? He provides for devotees through a fellow devotee. Krishna does not provide from the sky. He throw down favor. He uses a human being, a fellow devotee, who he have positioned in a better position to help other devotees. So nobody can say that we don't need to depend on anything. We need to depend on a doctor to be healthy. We need to depend on the priest to do yagya. Even when you want to get married or have a baby, you need yagya. You build a new house, you need yagya. You depend on the priest to do the yagyas. You don't depend on Krishna to come and do it for you. So a devotee needs to understand that being Krishna consciousness does not mean we should not make endeavor. But we have to make endeavor to be able to achieve some certain aims of life. So the devotee care we're going to institute right now is going to be a bit of a kind of revolution, because it's not going to be like management will tell you what you must do, what you must do. What we're going to do now is talk to young devotees. What skill do you have? What do you learn in school? Have you done your NYSC? Are you a graduate? What do you study? Try to fix devotees in kind of different job, what they study. Those who don't go to school, what skill? You don't have any skill, what can you learn? We shall finance you. Because the youth are the future devotees of tomorrow. To end the issue of a devotee is sick, a devotee left the body, problem here, when they are young, put them into skills where they can earn a living, little by little, and still be a devotee, even though they live in temple. They can go to work, come back to temple in the evening. It doesn't stop anybody. But I think the mistake of the past was that you live in temple, don't do anything material, any activity material, nothing, only preaching and haranam. If we want, like in Slovenia, brahmacharis are lawyers and bankers. They go to work every morning. When I went to Slovenia in 2014, we do Magrati. Coming to do Guru Puja, I was alone with 2 Matajis. I said, where are the Prabhus? He said, they have gone to work. I said, which work? They said, they are bankers. That was the day I said, oh, I've been deceived. I was shocked because I never know that. The brahmachari can wear saffron in the morning, after Guru Puja, after Magrati, go to work. My own is you must go and sell book. So you see the reason why we have to understand that according to what Prabhupada said, according to time, place, and circumstance. Because in Europe, things are expensive. They have to work to maintain the temple, to feed everybody. No Indians here. Indians here are also doing their own business. They come once on Sunday. So if you don't work, who maintains the temple? So we can also start to do like that in Africa. Like, for example, you can live in temple if you have a work. Do Magrati, Guru Puja, go to work, come back in the evening, do some gratis, do some service. Guru Puja, Saturday, go Haranam. Just to make sure that temple is not empty. People are there, people are living there. The big houses. So that we depend on somebody to live, to practice Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Sadev. Anybody else, please?
Hare Krishna.
Saleka?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu has his hand up.
Saleka, please wait. Prabhu Vera, please unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Harisha.
My obeisances, all glories to Prabhupada. I'm in a very noisy place. We're doing Food for Life.
Yes.
So please
Okay, I hear the
tolerate the
sound.
noise from the background. So many things have been mentioned, but I just want to quickly address one or two points. The first one is, like you're saying, this is radical, revolutionary. And then I'm happy you also mentioned that according to time, place, and circumstance. Yeah. So Prabhupada, of course, started the ISKCON movement in a particular paradigm, which has been changing with time. So what I want to say is that in the European context, people naturally, I would say, generally speaking, I'm not saying that everybody is. But generally speaking, that is a community where people are not, they do not have that much of too much dependent consciousness. Africa is the opposite. Africa, we have dependency consciousness. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said, India also. Prabhupada said in India and Africa, there should be food for life and Arena. So because of the mentality and the consciousness, those who live in the temple are kind of to be taken care of, and they just do like missionary activity. That was Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that in Africa and India, people should just go out on Arena and then they should do Food for Life. And there's a reason why Prabhupada said in Africa and India. And I think we can all understand. Yeah. So the example of Slovenia you're giving and many other parts in America and in Europe cannot be applied to Africa for many reasons. Kusha, I don't want to go into right now because it may take some time. That's one. Yes. And then the second point is about devotees coming and then asking them what is their skill so that they can have a job or something. Well, that sounds very, very nice, but I'll give you two points. One from the scripture and one from the Catholic example. The Catholics have, seminaries where they train people, right? And one day I traveled with a Reverend Father on a long journey. I think from Accra, we were going to Tamale. We're actually going to Burkina Faso. So he was going to Tamale, so a long journey. And then this guy was chatting with me about spiritual life and living in the monastery. And then he told me that the Catholic seminaries, they have almost every year about 1,000 students in the seminary. about 1,000 students, which can be likened to we recruiting devotees and training them, okay, to become, in ISKCON, it has been like just become priest, devotee priest. But unfortunately, the structure and the system did not even make those who live in the temple have full priestly training. That's very unfortunate. So we don't have the formal setting like the Catholic who have the seminary, which is school, and to train and then engage people differently. So he said what he said, which I want to cite here, and very, very shocking. He said from about 1,000 students every year who come for seminary training, maybe if they are able to ordain 2 or 3 at the end of the year as a priest, that is wonderful. A whole year. If they end up having 2 or 3 who are ordained as full-time priests, that is really big.
Wow.
Because eventually everyone ends up wanting to be teacher, wanting to be, some vocational job. Even though they have come to the Catholic mission for seminary vocation, but then they end up, according to their, capacity, whatever, they end up for other jobs. So ISKCON doesn't have that system, but I think that system has a lot to teach us, because you cannot tell somebody to give his life to God, and then you start asking him, so now what job you want to do? I mean, what, it's not like a school system, a formal setting where you know that you're going to be trained. The ashram setup is totally different from what we're talking. So if people come to want to serve God and you start asking him what job he wants to do, some people have come because they really want to serve God. They've given up. They've studied the philosophy. They feel like, I want to give my life to God. I want to serve God. So if this is not done in a very systematic way, we're going to confuse people, and we end up not even attaining our goal. Okay. So the second one is from the scripture. You can read chapter 3, text 9 of Bhagavad Gita. Jagaritas, you can check it out. Gita 3:9. And you read it, the purport, the beginning of the purport, what Prabhupada said. Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu must be done. Otherwise, work is the cause of bondage. That is the text. Can somebody bring it up? Because we need to read the purport, the beginning of the purport, and hear what Prabhupada said. So just read the purport.
Since one has to work, even for simple maintenance of the body,
right,
the prescribed duty for a particular social position and quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Yagya means Lord Vishnu.
That is it. That is it. No, that is it. That is it. Just repeat that again and try to hear what Prabhupada is saying there.
Yeah.
Just read that again.
Since one has to work, even for the simple maintenance of the body, the prescribed duties for a particular social position quality are so made that that purpose can be fulfilled. Yagya means Lord Vishnu.
What purpose can be fulfilled? Maintaining the body.
Maintaining the body, yes.
Can be fulfilled by discharging your prescribed duty.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is the prescribed duty of devotees in the temple? They are Brahman. They are supposed to be Brahmanas. And Srila Prabhupada said that the prescribed duties of these social classes are so made that even the maintenance of the body can be taken care of automatically. So I want you to meditate on that, because many people are getting a wrong idea of what temple life means. Just because people end up having problem, or the ISKCON society has not really got its acts together to be able to put people in proper line. That does not mean that what we're doing is wrong, or we were deceived. We were not deceived. We were not deceived. It's just that there's a misapplication, and most of the people who sit down behind the steering saying that they are leaders don't even understand where they're going. You're driving a car, you don't know where you're going. That's a problem. You understand? So we're trying to move very fast, but we don't really know where we're going. But you read the scripture very well. I understand. Prabhupada already said all these things. So, okay, anyway,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah, so our activities, no matter what we do, the aim is to satisfy Krishna. But then it does not mean we should not do any activity. Like this Bhagavad Gita mentioned, to maintain the body, one has to work. But then what kind of work can we do? It's up to each individual to have a skill, to know what kind of work to do. Not everybody who renounces in temple is a priest, end up being a Brahmana. Like you said, in the Catholic, 1,000, they can initiate 2 or 3 as a priest. Many has come to temple, not everybody is a Brahmana. So how can they can also live in temple and say, I'm a Brahmana, I don't have to work. that become temple will just become a place of eating and sleeping, because only the priest, those who are really doing the work of a priest, a preacher, priest can stay in temple and say they're not working. But others who are not priests, we have 4 ashram, 4 varna and 4 ashram. Everybody comes, fall into which ashram they belong to according to their nature. Not everybody that comes becomes a Brahmana, first class devotee, Paka devotee, no. So what we are talking about devotee care is caring about devotee. I was saying that it also consign or can also be like counseling. If you counsel somebody, you can know what the person really wants. You are caring about that person. Because if we think that everybody who lives in temple or who live outside a devotee is peacefully situated, it's a lie. Not everybody is peacefully situated. We need to communicate. That is caring. Then after that caring, we find out where we can be of help to anybody. Then that help can now be physical. But the first one is communication, association, asking questions, finding out what the person needs. If the person is really happy, then before comes physical help, if any. Salika, please, you have the floor. Unmute.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Kusha. Govinda Prabhu is here. I'm seeing so many wonderful, great devotees here.
Prabhu Shivas is here.
This matter concerns all of
Prabhu
us.
Shivas just came.
But Prabhu Shivas is here. I like where I like where
Salika Prabhu, Hare Krishna, hold on, please. I didn't actually realize this. Grace Shivas Banachari is here. If he's here, we have to formally recognize him and address him. So we're going to do that. Prabhuji, we're formally and warmly welcome and recognize your presence and blessings here. So Hare Krishna for being here. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj Ganga is also there.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare
Krishna.
Yeah. Walk away from my desk, and when I do, I always leave a notice.
There you go.
Mitra Vinda, we can barely hear what you're saying. Salika Prabhu, are you talking? Are you talking to us or are you talking to somebody else?
Mitra is talking, so I just want her to finish.
We're not hearing her.
Go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish, Salika Prabhu.
Yes, our network is. I stopped for her to speak, but
go on.
Our network was not good to you. Anyway, because you have been called, like I said, we have so many great Mahajans here, and I hope they will correct me if I make mistake in whatever presentation I make. But this matter is something that is long overdue for discussions, and I'm happy that Kusha Prabhu decided to speak on this particular topic today. And like I said, I like where Sriman Varacharya Prabhu ended his presentation. Yeah, we were not deceived, but we are misguided. And out of the ecstasy of devotion in the beginning days, there was no much of clarity about practical application of the philosophy. So those many devotees misunderstood the application of what the process was supposed to be. And as a result of that, we have so many challenges on our table today, to the extent that our children doesn't want to be part of us because they feel that their parents are failures. So we know this, what has happened. But yes, everyone has gone through so many experiences, for especially those who are senior members of this movement, especially in West Africa. But the move that we're doing now is in the right direction. One of the most thriving community in the whole of our East Coast setting, and I always refer to that, is His Holiness Raghunath Maharaj project, Shopati. He started grooming brahmacharis, and after some times, when they started doing the congregational preaching, and our Gaga Prashad Prabhu is here, when they started grooming students from the universities, because all of these people are not going to naturally be Gnostic brahmacharis, Maharaj started making arrangements through his senior disciples who are grihastas, handing them over to them to guide them towards the way of life. And then there is a whole lot of model there in that project for us to learn from. So, but the past of mistake has been done. Whatever misunderstanding is there. My own suggestion is that whatever step we're taking is in the right direction, and we should take it very seriously. The challenge we have is that our structure,
Yes, Aleka is muted. Network is not too good.
I got frozen. It's not, it got frozen. It's okay now. Go ahead, Pravidi.
Okay. So as in the beginning days, because of the beginning and pioneering, Gurudev took the project as his personal service to Srila Prabhupada. So he coordinated each and every one of us, and as a father taking care of his children. But I think in my suggestion, one of the things I would strongly suggest as my own personal recommendation, it is time that we start having the kind of temple that Prabhupada dreamed of. And because our spiritual father is not there now physically, but he has his disciples there. But we should move on, which is the direction Srila Gurudev wanted us to move on based on his speech to us from 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003, which was the last 4 times he came into the West African region. And he kept on saying that he wants all the temples to become autonomous now, managed. This bureaucracy of management is one of the things that we have as a challenge. And temples cannot develop their own projects. Temples cannot develop their own activities without interference from the central management. The role of the central leadership is meant to be something to supervise, to make sure that things are going in the right way. But we tend to micromanage the yatras, and that is why it becomes very difficult. And I can explain that in my own personal experience, but because we're on live YouTube, there are so many things we cannot say. But the fact remains that we need to start thinking, if we want to do this devotee care, to break down the system to what Prabhupada wanted it to be. Yeah, West Africa is the only region I know globally that has no independent temple autonomy in terms of registration, management structure, and all of that. We say it in terms of speech that, okay, every temple is autonomous, but when it comes to taking decisions of deciding of the project for that particular yatra, it is micromanaged. And we see experience in recent times, even in the Enugu temple project, it almost got out of hand, but it was somehow or the other managed. So I think we just need to do a little bit of check back at our structure of management and then get the temple where Prabhupada wanted it to be. And then from my perspective, supervise at a level how Prabhupada supervises the temples in his physical presence with us. And then we can see the yatra growing. But the initiative of devotee care that you're suggesting, I think is it's a long time overdue thing. This is happening in many yatras across the globe. And they are different. They are completely, different names they put them. They are completely outside of the normal regular temple management things. And that is the way it works on that place. And I think that is the way it can work also in West Africa. So if we make it a little bit independent of the temple management, micromanagement, then we can get some success where we get some senior devotees who are working class manage it, because it has to do with that, and let the sannyasis and the senior devotees who are fully dedicated to service do their preaching. I think in that way it can work. That is what I would say as a suggestion for now. There are other, I'll give the floor to other persons to speak.
Thank you for your suggestion. Well noted. Prabhu Shivas, we'll give you floor if you have anything to comment.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
I'm happy to see you without your beard, your dangerous beard.
Today I became a devotee.
I'm happy to see you. You look
say,
like
let
a
me become a devotee. I think that
beautiful.
my account of offending devotee have expired. I need more offense to put back in the account. So I became a devotee.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'm happy to see you. Nice dress with tilak, without beard. This is wonderful. Some transformation has taken place. So, and thank you for the topic. Devotee care is a very important initiative that even the GBC, they initiated it. They created a committee. His Holiness Sulakavi Chandra Swami Maharaj is part of that GBC team for devotee care, and they have done so much. They have even developed a course called Devotee Care Course, and it is supposed to be taught to the devotees across the world, so that they can understand what it means to practice devotee care. So it is a very, very relevant, important topic. And I would support the idea of, creating a team to discuss. First, we have to go through what the GBC body has developed, the course. I think we need to go through the course and see what we can take, what we can use to promote our own local devotee care program. So we need to do that. And it will help us a lot, because we can see that without that department, we are not able to demonstrate our, concern and love and affection for other devotees. That devotee care department is supposed to, facilitate our relationship with other devotees. So it's a good initiative. And so we have to look closely into it by consulting the material that has been developed, I think, by Gauranga Prabhu. Gauranga Prabhu is the director of the devotee care, assisted by Rivati Raman Prabhu. And they're all wonderful Vaishnavas. So we need to study their material and then see how we can make use of it. Regarding the issue of temple life, I can say that the Srila Prabhupada had a vision, though he could not implement it. The vision of this Varna Ashrama, Prabhupada had that vision from the very onset. And therefore, he wanted to establish a Varnashrama college in Kurukshetra. Somebody promised to give some land for that Varnashrama college. And Srila Prabhupada instructed Ambarish Prabhu to mobilize, I think, $70,000 for that project, $75,000 for that project. And Ambarish organized and brought the money to India. He brought the money to Prabhupada in India for establishing the Varnashrama college. By the time the money arrived, the person who pledged the land, people talk against, they were against ISKCON, they didn't want ISKCON to establish a big center in Crusade Prass, so they placed some politics, and then the fellow refused to honor his promise. So Prabhupada decided to use that money, I think, to support the Vrindavan Krishna Balaram temple or Mayapur project or whatever. But Srila Prabhupada recognized that it's not everybody who can be a Brahmana. It's not everybody who can be a Vaishya. It's not everybody who can be a Kshatriya. He recognized that. We have different tendencies. And so he wanted to initiate that Varnashrama Dharma so that when devotees come, they can be identified. Those with the Brahminical qualities will take care of Brahminical duties. Those with the Vaishya qualities will take care of the Vaishya duties. Those with Kshatriya qualities will take care of Kshatriya duties. And those with Shudra duties will also do that, all centered around devotional service. That was his idea. So the GBC has been battling with this. They have been given different definitions. In fact, at the GBC level, there is not a single idea. There is conflict of ideas. Everybody defines Varnashrama Dharma in their own way. And because of this, they have not come to a consensus. So each one is thinking of Varnashrama in this way, this one thinks this way, that one thinks that way. And even when they set up committees to actually refine the idea so that it can be applied, again, even inside a committee, there are divisions. So because of that, there is no central push to develop this Varnashrama Dharma. Individual devotees like Bhakti Raghava Swami, he is into developing Varnashram villages. Like Bhakti Vikas Swami, he is into developing some other projects, farm communities. Shivaram Swami, he has established his Varnashram community in Hungary. If you go to Hungary, they have a farm community there, and then it is an example in their own way. They have self-sufficient community, and everybody is engaged accordingly. We have the Brahmin class doing the priestly work and the preaching. We have the Kshatriyas, they take care of the administration. We have the Vaishyas, they take care of the farming, production of grains and economic activities. And the Shudras, they support with services. So in Hungary, they have a sample of it, but in their own way, not exactly according to what Prabhupada wants. So I would say that looking at the current development, the current situation in our West African zone, we could look at all the various Varnashrama systems around the world, the various practices, various projects, and then see which one we can adopt and which one, if it is even too much, we can adjust. You see, the Chowpatty model is amazing. Radhanath Maharaj, his project is also centered around Varna Ashrama. But it is his own way.
Yes.
As he said, he started training brahmacharis, but he was observing, he saw it's not everybody who can remain a brahmachari. And there were also some senior Vaishnavas who were householders, like the group of doctors. He encouraged them to establish the hospital. And then they have created in Chopati, they have a created union. They have a created union. They have created a farm. They have beautiful restaurant. They have other ways of, engaging those who are vicious. And because they have all these things, a generous income, they are never short of money. So there are many models around the world, prophet by different leaders. And so what we need to do in our own situation is look at these various models around the world, see which of them will suit our environment, and then we adapt it. And if there is a need to adjust certain things, so that we can also begin to engage devotees accordingly, because it is not everybody who comes to a temple that has Brahminical qualities, that is inclined to Brahminical duties. And even though we may train them, we may do whatever we want to do, but it is not their nature. And so they cannot last in the temple environment. But if there are some training skills whereby they can have some job, some activity to perform, that will give them income and they can contribute to the society, that will be the best way forward for some devotees. What we are saying is not applicable to all devotees. Yes. That is the fact. Yeah, some devotees would like to do Brahminical services. We identify them. Some devotees would like to do Vaishya. We identify them. Some devotees like security and they like Kshatriya work. We identify them. And those who cannot do any of these things, they just render some service. You see, so we need to sit down and look at this thing very critically and see how we can move this West African project forward, because it is important, very, very important. That is a little I can say in this regard.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. We give mic to Maharaj, Ganga Maharaj. Ganga Prasad, please bless us from Chopati Temple. Let's hear your lotus voice.
Anchakapataro Biachai, Kripasana Viva Chapati Tanam Pavanambeyo, Vaishnava Vyo Namo Namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
I appreciate all what I have heard. I didn't join in time, but then I think it is a clarion call for the moment to see that we look in the right direction and do the right things. In the past, we made a lot of mistakes, unfortunately, because of some basic defects. We had a lot of unwholesome rivalry. Many devotees have not changed from what they were from beginning until today. Prabhu Varaha is one example. Prabhu Varaha has not changed until today who he is. So all the interferences in his frequency, they moved him a little, they altered it, but then he's still like a rock of Gibraltar. Okay? So many devotees are still like that. I'm not priding in myself. Whatever I've been in devotional service, other than the nonsenses I know how to do, but my focus and my lifestyle and how I want to live and do devotion, I'm still living it till today, despite whatever I've gone through. My nonsenses have given up. Krishna has helped for that. So, but what I will say in the light of what our discussion is, I'm leaning on just one thing, is what echoes in my mind every day. Srila Krishna Pad gave a lot of guidance when I just came from India. Anytime he visits, like he's pumping a lot of missile for development into the devotees. But not everybody, it was not resonating with everybody. So those who it was resonating with, they were taking advantage of it and doing something. But then because we had unwholesome rivalry, unhealthy competition, Everybody wants to be the same thing, but we are not the same. That is obvious. We are not the same. Okay? And if we respect our differences and try to work with these differences, that's what Lakshmana Park called unity in diversity. There will be a synergy where we will be diversified, but we'll be united. So most of the project were truncated and many things were truncated. They wouldn't have been so, but I'm leaning on this one statement. I call it prophecy of Lakshmana Park, that this yatra in West Africa will flourish. It's a prophetic pronouncement. But the irony is, will you be there? So if we are thinking like this, it is in line with that prophecy, because things will grow, whether we like it or not. Krishna consciousness of today in West Africa is not what it was in the 80s or in the 90s or in the early 2000s. There is a lot of paradigm shift now, but how to coordinate it is what we need. And coordinating it will require a lot of identification, like Maharaj just said now. We have to see each person's inclination, like you also said too. But training is very important. If we go borrow all the models everywhere in the world, and we don't have trained people who can take responsibility in them, it will still collapse. So we need to, Maharaj said, there is a model that the GBC is working on, and they want school for devotee care or some training for devotee care. People should be trained. The best way to help a man is to train him, empower him, human capacity building. When we have such people, and then we are able to know that we are not all the same, so we don't try to bootleg or run anybody over, then we'll be moving, inching in the right direction, and things will go smoothly. But I'm very confident. I'm here today. I may not be there tomorrow, but I'm echoing this. Like Shampar said, this yatra will grow. But the irony is, will you be there?
Will you be there?
Yes. So every one of us who is talking now, we are aligning with that very statement, and we should be grateful that we are here, and we should also be willing to make positive contribution. Positive. Things will change, things will work. And we should not build too many heights. Let us start small. That's what I like Avichandra Maharaj. So he used the acronym. They call it, one of my Bhakti Sastri teachers quoted him saying, he said, KISS, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Kiss.
KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. So if we keep it simple, we will not be stupid. And then we'll make gradual, instead of building pie in the sky that is not achievable. So I appreciate every contribution in this line. I think this discussion started early today in some other platform for some other reason. And I'm very excited that it is maturing, because it is, let's keep talking. When we keep talking, then we'll talk out sense, and then we'll act sense, and then we achieve sensible progress. This is what I can say, but in all of it, let us not oversight requirements for our being dynamic and being focused, which is our sadhana. Chanting and studying will give us the direction of what we have to do. This is my little contribution. Forgive me if I over-bloated anything.
Thank you. Your faith inspires us to remain, to try to offend devotees. Sadev Prabhu, you raise your hand up, please, on mute.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you all for your contribution, especially His Grace Shiva Vallachari and His Grace Ganga Prasad Prabhu. What I wanted to say is that as human beings in general, we all have within our hearts to do something for somebody. It's natural, it's automatic. Even the most wicked person once in his life would like to do something for somebody. So it's our nature, and we cannot run away from our nature. So the theme is devotee care. We all have families, biologically. And we all know that in our biological homes, we all do not do the same thing. Different people do different things. Different people have different natures. But we love and care for each other anyway. When we hear our brother is sick, we rush to go to his aid. When we hear our sister is sick, we rush to go to her aid. And this is a family. Krishna consciousness is a family. So we have some that are in the temple. We have some that are celibates. We have some that are working outside the temple. We have some that are doing different things, working in the office, whatever. But we are all brothers and sisters. And if we understand that we are brothers and sisters, and we come to the understanding that our brother is in need of something, what holds us back to care for the brother or the sister? You know, one thing I'm seeing is that sometimes we become unnecessarily puffed up, thinking that without you, without me, I still can do it. But that was never the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, when he came here, we all know he's the Jagat Guru, he's the Nitya Siddha. He could do anything and everything. He so asked Krishna to help him do it. But yet, he said, I cannot do anything without you, referring to his disciples. And he referred to his disciples as souls that have been sent to him by his guru. And therefore, he had to take proper care of them. So there is a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote to one of his disciples called Jagadish, I think 28 December 1974. And in that letter, Srila Prabhupada was, answering questions that Jagadish Prabhu had asked Srila Prabhupada. And so Srila Prabhupada was answering, and Srila Prabhupada was saying that some people in the public are saying that, please, I do not want to extend this, but please allow me to share this on the screen. It's going to be very brief. Let me see here. Let me see. Okay, here. Found it. Regarding, okay, let me put it up here. So regarding Gurukul, I'm very happy to hear that the financial crisis has passed. That is very good. That is real management. As far as the children are concerned, this Prabhupada is speaking, as far as the children are concerned, people are accusing us sometimes that our children are undernourished, underfed, and not cared for properly. So it is good that you are seeing that they are happy and healthy. They should be given milk at least 8 ounces a day, if possible 16 ounces a day, dal, chapati, rice, vegetable. This will keep them fit. If possible, a little bit of fruit also. So here, Srila Prabhupada is not happy to hear people say that in ISKCON, the devotees are underfed, the kids are malnourished, and Srila Prabhupada didn't want that to happen. And generally, in our own lives, we don't want that to happen. We cannot say because we practice a spiritual life, somebody should go hungry. That is not what Srila Prabhupada established. And so if we try to see Krishna consciousness, see ISKCON as a family, a nuclear family that we all have, that even though I am here in the States, Ganga Prasad Prabhu is in Nigeria, so Uttar, but he is my brother. And if he is in need of something that I can be of help, why should I hesitate? But there is a problem where sometimes this hesitation comes across. Sometimes the hesitation comes across because Sri Raghunath Maharaj went to one school, and you know how students, they can be so loud. And this, of course, Maharaj was dressed as a monk, as a sannyasi. And one student raised his hand up, and when he started speaking, the whole auditorium, everybody was shouting. So Raghunath Maharaj says, oh, this student is very popular. But this student was challenging Sri Raghunath Maharaj. Why are you saying everybody should become like you? Everybody should become like you, a monk. If everybody became like you, how are we going to have banks? How are we going to have the police? How are we going to have this? How are we going to have the doctors? And Sri Raghunath Maharaj answered, he says, well, I don't know where you're getting that from, because I haven't said that. I haven't said everybody should become a monk. And that is not what Hare Krishna says. Hare Krishna says that whatever you do, do it to serve God and humanity. And so you are studying to become a mechanic. Yes, study to become a mechanic. We need people who have to become mechanics. And we need people who have to become monks like me also. So those who can become monks, we train them, they become monks. So like what Srimad Bharata Prabhu was saying, which I was very happy, His Grace Srivastava chipped in something, that we cannot expect that everybody who comes to the temple, they are going to become Brahmins. After all, it is said in this age of Kali, there is no Brahmana. Those early Brahmins, they light fire with mantras. We cannot light fire with mantras. Even when we're using a lighter, we still have to get something to cover it. The wind is blowing it off. But some people have to be trained as such. And the same misunderstanding is happening, whereby a guru says that whoever receives Brahminical initiation has to live in the temple and do deity worship, which is deviating from Srila Prabhupada's standard. So all I'm trying to say is that we can say so many things, but the fundamentals is that we are a family, and we all cannot agree on anything and everything every day. Nevertheless, we still care for each other. We got each and everybody's back. You are my brother, you are my sister. You may even say something to hurt me. That does not mean that you're no more my brother, you are no more my sister. And that is one thing we are having oversight of. Because a God brother, a God sister said something that hurt me, I throw him out. That is never to happen. So we should consider those things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, everybody, for your contributions. So that brings us to the current devotee care campaign we are running today, till 15th of August. Our God brother who left the body, Ganga Bini, we are trying to raise more funds, Lakshmi, for the wife to put in his business, so he can take care of their two daughters. So if anybody have $50, $100, can put into my PayPal or your account directly, you can let us know. We collect the money. We will thank you. We pronounce it openly, and we'll give to the woman to boost her business, so she don't have to beg, and taking care of her children and paying their rent. We've been doing this now. We have done it before. Our God brother also, Bali Prabhu, we did it for something prayer, who lost the husband and daughter in an accident. It's the third time. So we beg for pledges. If you have something to give us to help the woman, the Mataji, it should be appreciated. But it's only for 2 weeks till 15th of August. Anything you have, please help us to help her stabilize business. As the man have left the body, she need to take care of her two daughters and pay their rent and do business to feed themselves. So the devotee care we are going to do now, the authorities will bless us. We are going to take it very seriously. Not only when somebody died, but when people are still alive, we have to know what people are doing to see how to empower them little by little, that when they leave the body, there will be something for a family to rely on. Please, if you want to help us, contact me privately or contact Kavikanapu privately, contact Ganga Prashar Prabhu or Saleka Prabhu, whatever. So we can give you accounts or PayPal to chip in something. We make it for 2 weeks so that after 2 weeks, whatever we get, we give her. Then we can start the structure of other things. There are many things to be done. Because if we leave it open till when? Till 10 years? No. Every person will have a limited time when to raise that money and give to the person so that we can switch into another thing, like that. Thank you, everybody, for coming for today. I thank you.
Kusha Prabhu, before you move on, I see Shima Bara Prabhu's hand up, but I wanted to say something really quick.
Yeah, Chakra also.
Yes, and that is, you just mentioned Shima Salika Prabhu's name, and Salika Prabhu said something briefly earlier, and he said something that requires a little bit of clarification. When Salika Prabhu was speaking, he was saying that we are on YouTube, so there are many things we cannot say. That is, we're trying to explain or expand on it to share with the devotees and the general public that what we say, what we do behind the screen is also what we do and say on the screen. So there is nothing hidden, but what he meant is that because we have a very limited time, there are many things that we might not be able to touch on. Okay, so that is what he meant. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Chakra, please, can you unmute, please?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I did not join early, so I heard just pieces of the whole discussion. Hearing whatever everybody is saying.
That is
but hearing whatever everybody is saying, personally, I think that since time immemorial, ever since we joined this movement, even in the early days, where we were like everybody, all of us were so fired up, and we were all in the temple, and we were so happy together and all that. I don't see any mistake that we made. The only flaw that I for now I have realized is that we never had any good system in place, like a system like a system of check and balances. We've never had one in our temples. Srila Krishna Prabhupada did his best to let us create that system of check and balances, because previously the regional secretary duty was to go around, and every temple he comes, he will ask the president. He was the original secretary, was like the auditor. He was supposed to ask the temple president, "Oh, can I have your books?" He looks through the books and he sees the way you generate your income and how you spend it. But we did not even apply it. We did not apply it. And saying it today till today, the same thing. We have the same thing going on. No checks and balances. So everybody everywhere is doing his own thing. Be it a temple president, be it who, you give him some lashmi, he spends from his pocket. Tomorrow you ask him to make accountability, and he will go and bring a piece of paper to write something on it for you, to scribble something on for you. If somebody should come to our temple now and the person asks us, what is your budget for every month, like for Prashadam? What is your budget for maintenance of the temple? A lot of, I can assure you, a lot of temple cannot tell you because they don't have the records. So personally, what I'm thinking is that we need to be able to make sure that something, structures, some proper structures are laid down in our temples. And the way we were going on Harinam and Sankirtan in the previous ages, and the Lakshmi we were bringing to the temple, if we had a system in place, I can assure you by now, like the West Africa sub-region, we may be one of the richest sub-regions in the whole world. We were making the money, but we didn't have a system in place to keep it in check. And it's still today. It's happening till today. And one other unfortunate thing is that we were calling people inside devotees, and we were calling some people outside devotees. So people who were in the corporate world, who had the techniques to keep us generating income and all that, we were not involving them in the temple management. And if we do, we even sidetrack them. At a certain point, when they are trying to be very strict on certain issue, we will tell them, oh, you live outside and you can't come and dictate to us the inside devotees. And this thing has been hurting us since time immemorial. And unfortunately, we are not even realizing it. How can't we bring people on board? If we live in the temple as very powerful preachers, why can't we limit ourselves to preaching and give the management? It's like the corporate aspect of Krishna consciousness. Why don't we give it to the people who are experts? Let them do it. And they brief us. All they have to do is that whatever they are doing, they will brief us. Oh, this is what is going on. This is let me ask you all one question. I've heard, I've never been to Mayapur, but I've heard that one of the things that Prabhupada did was that he purchased bonds. He purchased bonds for the upkeep of their deities. He purchased bonds so that the profit that comes out of the bonds will be used. If it's true, I don't know whether it's true or not. I just heard it. But if it's true, then you can see how visionary Prabhupada was. Do we think that Prabhupada was not pure enough to think that, oh, Krishna will let things happen, Krishna will do it? Didn't Prabhupada know that Krishna would do it? Why would he go to the extent of purchasing bonds? Because Krishna has given us the law of good sense. And that law of good sense is one of our system of protection. Because of the law of good sense, that is the reason why when you are walking on the roadside and you see a truck coming, you don't jump in front of the truck, because your law of good sense tells you that you will die. So when we are living in the temple, why can't we apply the law of good sense by giving the proper services to the proper people? And we just back them, we help them, we like what? We give them our support. In this way, like Prabhupada used to say, the blind and the lame coming together, they become a whole. So personally, I know that since time immemorial, the way we have been managed, our temples have been running, we were on the right track, but the only fault is that we didn't have any systems in place. No system. And now I can challenge anybody that even till today, we don't have any system in place. So the only thing, we have to create systems. And if we create system, devotee care will automatically be taken care of. Somebody will come join devotional service at a tender age, use his own energy to do. And when the person is sick, we don't even have health insurance for the person. We don't even have money in the temple to take the person to the hospital. And the person will have to go back to his biological family to go and ask for help. What sort of system is this? So personally, I think that there was no flaw in the way we were doing our Sankirtan and living in the temple. And we were very happy. We were loved. There was love for each other. So what happened? Where is the love? Now it's
love,
everyone for him.
Prabhu, the love is now you are going to give us an idea on how to make the structure.
Yeah.
So when we call you, you answer.
If you call me, I will answer.
I will call you, don't worry.
We need to put some structures in place. I tell you, if we have the right structures in place, it doesn't matter whether it's Kusha today and tomorrow is Sahadev or the next day is Harichakra. The system itself will make sure that we are able to save some money. We are able to make things happen. and that the system itself will make sure that if a devotee is sick, he can be taken care of. But we don't have any system in place. Look at this one. You are asking for donations for a devotee who has lived his whole life in the temple. Now he's passed away. We want something to give to the wife. We are now going to solicit donations. Do you think if we have a system in place, the system itself wouldn't have something in stock to automatically be used to help this lady? This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we understand you.
If somebody dies, if the devotee dies, we go to the family, even funeral donation. Sometimes at the funeral grounds, that's where how much can you bring? 5 cedis, 10 cedis. We are going to make la at the funeral ground to go and pay a donation for the family. We don't have a system in place.
Prabhu, the system is what we are putting in place now to make sure that everything is okay.
All right.
I will call you for the system structure. But don't forget. Thank you, sir. Prabhu Vira, please. You raise your hand.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Just I agree with you that this process, what you're doing now, is trying to put the system in place. So I have some suggestions, especially regarding contributing money for the family of the deceased devotee. In line with what Prabhu was saying, I think we should have an amount, a stipulated amount